Trier hated the cold nights in the pit. Although he knew it was better to sleep out of the wind, being underground made him feel colder. And closed in, too, unlike the bridge, with the river a constant reminder of faraway places. If it weren't for Crane Man's presence, Trier could never have borne the long winter nights. Not long here, Crane Man said every year. The worst of winter, snow melt, spring flood, 2 moons perhaps, and the bridge will welcome us back. Trier waited in the yard. Min had not yet emerged from the house. When the door opened, it was his wife who appeared instead. She was holding something folded in her arms. Trier, she said sharply. He looked up in surprise, wondering what he had done wrong. Then he saw that though her mouth was stern, her eyes were twinkling. How can you work properly for the Honourable Potter if you are shivering with cold? She scolded. She held out something dark and soft, and Trier rose from his bow to take it from her. His eyes widened in wonder. It was a jacket and pantaloons made of heavy cotton, quilted and padded, the warmest of garments. Min's wife took the jacket back and held it up before him. This should be just the right size, she said, raising her eyebrows. Realizing what was expected of him, Trier reached for and donned the jacket. A delicious coziness enveloped him. Min's wife must have had the jacket warming by the fire inside. Good. She nodded, seemed to hesitate for a moment, then spoke softly. Our son, Hyung-gu, died of fever when he was about your age, she said. These clothes I made for him, but they were never worn. Trier tried to swallow his surprise, but he was sure they must have shown on his face. Min, a father? It hardly seemed possible. Trier could not envision Min at anything but his work. The idea that he might once have had a son. Wear them in good health. A soft voice interrupted his thoughts, and he was suddenly aware of his discourteous behavior. He bowed again. Deepest gratitude to the Honourable Potter's wife, he said. She nodded again and disappeared into the house. Min came out the next moment. He looked over Trier in his new jacket. Trier held his breath, wondering how Min would feel, his son's clothes and a lowly orphan. Her idea, not mine, the Potter muttered, and waved at Trier to get started on his work. Throughout the day, Trier kept rolling up the sleeves of the jacket, which were a little too long for him, and it made him almost too warm, accustomed as he was to hard work in his sparse burlap tunic. So, the idea was born. The jacket should fit Crane Man fairly well. And fit it did, to Crane Man's delight. At first he refused it, saying that it was meant for Trier, but Trier insisted, having thought about it all the way home. Was it wrong to give away a gift that had only just been given? It was a gift, he argued with himself, which meant that it was now his to do with as he pleased, to wear or to give away. He thought of Min's wife and decided it would not displease her if he chose to give the jacket to his friend. Persuading Crane Man was another matter. If you will not wear the jacket, I will not wear the new sandals, Trier said firmly, nodding at the unfinished shoe in Crane Man's hands. Ha! Crane Man shook his head. Stubborn monkey! I have been making new sandals every winter since you came here, and now you would refuse them. But even as he spoke, he put on the jacket, and Trier could see the pleased look beneath his scowl. The trousers were too short for Crane Man, so Trier wore those himself. They examined each other, their new garb in sharp contrast to the other rags they wore. Crane Man began to laugh. Apart, we look strange enough, but together we are as properly dressed as any man. And he was still laughing as Trier served supper from the gourd bowl. Flickering lamplight caught Trier's eye as he walked back to the pit from Min's one evening, snug in his new trousers. The days were so short now that he always came home in darkness. The light came from the shed behind King's house. Trier paused in mid-stride. A light visible from a shed with no windows. There must be a hole or a crack somewhere. The temptation was too great. Trier stole silently over the frozen ground, edged along the wall of the shed, and after a quick glance around, hunched over to put his eye to a shoulder-level knothole. With the 2 bowls of red and white slip before him, and an oil lamp just beyond, King sat in profile to Trier's view, using his wheel as a work table. He was working on a small wine cup. With an incising awl, he inscribed the leather-hard clay, a simple chrysanthemum design, far cruder than much of the elaborate incision work for which the potters of Chulpo were known. But rather than outlining the petals in the usual way, Keng was clearing away the clay to leave teardrop-shaped depressions. As Trier continued to watch, Keng took up a dab of the semi-liquid white clay on the tip of the awl and deposited it into one of the petal spaces. He repeated this action for each empty space until the white-petaled flower was clearly visible against the dull clay. For the stem and leaves he used the red clay. Then, with a planing tool, he carefully smoothed away the surface of the design so that the coloured clay was completely level with the body of the vase itself. Keng eyed his work critically, then stood and replaced the tools on a shelf. Trier realized at the start that the potter must be finished for the night and would emerge from the shed momentarily. He looked around warily and darted back to the road. Trier's neck and shoulders were cramped from hunching in one position for so long. As he hurried on his way, he shrugged to loosen the stiff muscles. But he might as well have been shrugging over what he had seen.